Welcome to episode 30 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, Cookie? Cookie Googleman? My name is John, and joining me tonight, Andy, who does our artwork and graphic design.
Hey, everybody.
Naveen on music and audio production.
Hey there.
And Pod Daddy Eric, a.k.a. the original Busy Bee. Today on the show. Yeah, nothing. Today on the show, we're continuing our mockumentary cycle with Christopher Guest's dog show film Best in Show. And we wouldn't be able to do this properly without the dog father himself returning to the program. It's our buddy Napone.
Woof woof.
Woof indeed. Woof woof indeed. But gentlemen, happy to see you all here tonight. Before we kind of get started, like on the movie itself, I was thinking kind of like out of the five of us, I'm the only one here that either did not grow up with a dog or I don't have one kind of currently, like in my adult life, as opposed to like the four of you do. So I thought we could kind of go around like the horn like a little bit, kind of talk about like the dogs in our lives before we kind of jump into like the meat of the movie itself. Okay. Naveen, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Did have a dog growing up. I was a kid, so I didn't do a very good job taking care of it, but had a dog there. Still loved it. He's a German Shepherd, and unfortunately, I had to put him down as he had epilepsy, and it just got the best of him. Put him down by the time junior year of college, I believe. So got him in middle school, and
really
pretty good life there, I suppose.
It's a Dookie, if I remember correct.
Or Doogie. But
Doogie. All right.
Dookie.
I like how you're like, what a sad story. By the way, it's Dookie, right?
Right.
I was just kind of like middle school. I'm trying to like do the timeline. I thought I kind of had in the back of my head. Maybe they named him for like the Green Day album.
Spell it like Dookie, like John said it, or the dog's actual name.
Right.
More like the the TV show Doogie Howser, MD.
Doogie.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So, and then just recently, pandemic time, decided to get a dog, and we rescued a dog, and now got a dog and enjoying it, loving it. Probably the last dog though.
Last dog.
Which I love having a dog. It is a lot of work, and by the time it happens, I think I'll be done and ready to move on and do other things where I don't have to worry about where it's going. If I'm going on vacation or something, kind of thing. Unless we can maybe find someone that we can bring with us.
It's probably going to the farm. That's all I'm going to say.
That's actually kind of a good segue to Napone. You just kind of told me the other day because of the three dogs that you and your wife actually had, you haven't been on a plane since pre-pandemic. Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, we haven't flown yet. Neither of us have flown anywhere since January of 2020. We did one vacation with the dogs when we had two, and that was kind of rough. We almost lost one of them in Portland, Maine, so that was kind of crazy. It was surprising that she ran back to the car that she was in for 4 hours rather than like running someplace else. So that was kind of quite impressive.
Like Portland, especially, like the dog would have just kind of headed into the forest and kind of started like a microbrewery or something. You never would have seen.
Yeah, probably. So we got another dog. Hopefully that'll help with, because our smaller dogs are two newer ones. So when our big guy passes away, it'll probably be a little easier to travel with the two smaller ones.
Right.
We're hoping, so maybe we can do some drive-in trips to places or something like that.
Gotcha.
But it's definitely tough to travel. I mean, Naveen was our kind of guy to watch our dogs when we weren't around, and then now him having a dog doesn't.
Him having his own
help.
family commitments.
Yeah. We never really got them. We've got them together maybe like once or twice, and they were okay, but we never really like got them together to like really socialize them. So it's kind of tough to see how they would do with each other at this point. And our dogs, kind of like when they see other dogs, get very protective of each other.
Okay.
So like I don't know what it would be like seeing other dogs.
Particularly with the three of them now, they have kind of like their own sort of like little bubble, and they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Screwed it on.
Yeah.
Isn't the trick like to like let them smell each other's butts and then they're all cool? Like just fast friends because of.
That's how I do it with my friends.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's kind of how like this podcast got started in a way, right?
It was like smell-o-vision though.
Yeah, something like
yeah,
that,
I smell shit.
Right. Hey, talking to the microphone.
There's a lot of dookie.
How do you spell that?
Right. Making notes. All right, and Andy, how about yourself?
So I have had 2 dogs in my life. I grew up with a Siberian Husky Alaskan Malamute mix. His name was Bert, B-U-R-T.
Great
He's
dog.
a big fluffy dog, dumb as rocks. I'll give you a very, very quick story about Bert that I feel like everybody should know. My family and I used to live in Rochester, New York for a few years.
Oh, I don't think I know
and we had a 3-story house with an unfinished attic, but the attic was very accessible. I kept all my toys up there. It was just sort of a place that I hung out. And my mother and I were home on a weekend. We went upstairs to do some cleaning or I don't know, something. And on either end of the attic were these sort of half moon windows that kind of folded down. And we would open them up to air the place out. And Bert would come up and hang out with us and whatever. Well, this Saturday, Bert was very interested in something that was going on outside of one of the windows. And he went over and he was kind of sniffing around and looking, and we were keeping an eye on him and whatever. And I turned my back to him. So I'm here, Bert's back here, my mother's in front of me looking at me, and all of a sudden her eyes go wide. Now I'm, second grade at this point, second grade. Her eyes go wide and she goes, "Oh my God." And I turned around and Bert was gone. And my mom turns to me and goes, "Stay here." And she goes tearing ass down the stairs all the way down to the front door, opens the front door, and Bert is sitting on the front stoop looking up at her with a look on his face like, "That was pretty fun. Let's do this again." So as it turns out, he jumped out the 3rd-story window,
Right.
hit a tree, a rather large tree.
What?
Tumbled down the tree, hit the ground, came around and sat down at the front stoop.
Jesus.
So it is true in the movies.
Yeah.
You can fall and hit all these branches on the way down. And still survive.
Totally.
Well, you have like the Johnny Knoxville of dogs, like that.
Yeah, he's dumb. He was more like the Steve-O. And so a couple of weeks before that, the neighbor had this big, long chain link fence that was directly under the tree, which they had pulled out. Had they not pulled it out, he probably would have hit the chain link fence and cut himself in half or something.
Jesus.
But as it turned out, he was fine. Later that day, my mom got a phone call from that neighbor asking if Andrew was throwing his stuffed animals out the attic window.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
So that was my first experience with a dog, the dumbest dog in the world. Now, flash forward to I think 2017, we got our current dog, Coco, who is just a rescue mutt from Mississippi. Maybe a little bit of pit bull, maybe a little bit of hound, maybe a little bit of retriever. I don't know, a little bit of something
Little
else.
country, little rock and roll, let's say.
A little bit of everything. And she is my pride and joy and my favorite being on the planet. Sorry, wife and kids.
I was going to say, yeah, you have a family, but
but Coco's. Tell you what, Coco's the only one that I have tattooed on my body, so that should tell you something.
Ooh.
That should tell you something.
Yeesh.
So
nice. Papa, how about yourself?
What do you want from me, Johnny?
What
What do you want? I'm not. Look. I've had 3 bitches in my life, and that was enough. We had dogs growing up. Yeah, they were 3
Oh, we're
female
going to get
dogs.
demonetized.
Yeah, we are.
Demonize?
Demonized. No more dogs. No more dogs. My last one, we've talked about it pretty often. Dog named Sweepy. She was half. I want to say she's a rescue dog from Puerto Rico. She was half maybe pit bull. She was a street dog, half greyhound. Very fast, very robust. Always threw her body into everything.
Right.
She's one of those dogs where you would see her. Somebody would come to the front door. She'd jump up against the door, but you usually have like a nice window display that you can see through to see who it is. The dog would smash into it, crack the glass. And she did it at least twice where she shattered the glass on the front door. She would also, every time, I don't know what it was, FedEx, she was fine, but UPS driver, she was just not having it. So I'd be walking, the UPS truck would just fly by. We'd be chasing it. I'm not sure what it was, but
this is stealing a little bit of a joke, but where's Sweepy going? I don't know, but she'll get there by 10:30 tomorrow.
I don't know that one.
Nobody has to laugh at that. I'm going to downvote that one.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
So after Sweepy, who was a delight, it's been all cats.
All cats.
So I have 2 cats. Love my cats. So much easier to take vacations. Just have the neighbors' kids feed them, change the litter. Pay them $10 a day. Sweet vacations.
Right. And is it the kind of thing where you just kind of like more or less kind of like pod committed for your life? You just it's only going to be cats for you kind of moving forward. Like even after like the kids are out of the house.
Honestly, I mean, it's dogs are nice. I get along with dogs. I just it's just too much to take care of, especially if like the kids get older. Why do I want to get another kid? Just doesn't make sense to me. Stick with something easy.
Devine and Andy just nodding right now.
Cats are passive aggressive. It's fine. I get moody too. I don't like putting up with shit.
Right.
You don't change my litter box, I'll poop on the floor. I get it.
Yeah, for me, my brother and I were both kind of very severely allergic to just kind of pet dander sort of generally kind of growing up. So we never had dogs. We never had cats. The only thing I can kind of recall from kind of, like the farm where I grew up was my grandfather was also ran the farm and was like was kind of a hunter in the off season, just very, very passionate hunter. And he always would have the farm would always have hunting dogs just at one point or another. So I remember having a conversation with my father once and asking him how many total dogs did he actually kind of grow up with. And my dad's answer was, since I've been born, my father had 4 beagles, a Llewellyn setter, and a coonhound. And Dad just gets kind of like this sad, kind of far away look in his eyes, and he goes, "But like the thing about coonhounds, they wander." And he was just kind of silent for like 5 minutes, and then I didn't ask any questions about it after that.
That's like the most cryptic story ever. It's like he was remembering Nam or something.
Yeah, just New England countryside, dude. It's just
like,
whatever you want to do with that.
He's like, someday my son will wander, and I'm not sure if he'll ever come back.
Any kind of case. So why don't we kind of jump into like the movie itself? Best in Show, 2000 mockumentary comedy directed by Christopher Guest. This is actually like a first for the show. I have 2 synopsis in brief. I got synopses in brief this week.
Synopsi.
Number 1, synopsis in brief. Out-of-towners miss out on a sweet tour of the cream cheese factory. Number 1.
It's true.
Synopsis in brief. Number 2. My puppy. Best in Show is the second in a trilogy of mockumentaries that Christopher Guest has directed in between 1996 Waiting for Guffman and 2003's A Mighty Wind. I guess sort of relatively recently, he did a fourth one for Netflix called Mascots, but that's not like relatively recent. It's not a film I kind of know too much about. Best in Show stars guest alongside just like a murderer's row of improvisers and comedians. Jennifer Coolidge, John Michael Higgins, Michael Hitchcock, Jane Lynch, Michael McKean, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, Fred Willard, Ed Begley Jr., Larry Miller, Bob Balaban, and Eugene Levy, who also co-wrote the film. The film was released to wide critical acclaim and continues to rank on a number of the modern comedy all-time best lists. So this film, when it came out, got 3.5 stars from Roger Ebert, who opens his review. I think personally, like this is one of like the strongest, kind of like opening paragraphs Roger's ever had, like on one of his write-ups. He said, "I am a dog lover, but I am not a dog fancier. I can understand people who dote on their dogs, but I cannot understand dog shows, which make dogs miserable while bringing out the worst traits of their owners. Dogs were not put on the earth to pose, prance, sit, point, and have their coats shampooed. They were created to chew shoes, bark at cars, have accidents on the rug, and to get their tummies scratched. That is why I approve of Best in Show, a wickedly funny mockumentary by Christopher Guest that makes fun of a Philadelphia dog show with every instrument in the satirist's arsenal, all the way from the skewer to the mallet." So, kind of starting off, Naveen, why'd you pick this one, sort of particularly since this was your pick, and also mockumentaries was the theme that you sort of chose for like our kind of first rotation?
I like the ideas of mockumentaries. They're funny and they're great, and they really go out of their way to sorry, yeah, that's me squeaking. Just excited. Giddy. But I thought it'd be a great thing because there's, a lot of things are happening with reality TV or documentaries or these true crime things that everybody hears about.
Right.
But they're just, the space of mockumentaries is not too much there, aside from, I believe, the TV world, the TV shows.
Right. We'd said a little bit on the previous episode that
Right.
it's kind of still a kind of a thin occasional genre for like sort of the kind of film releases, but TV just like some of the biggest hits of our adult lives, The Office, Modern Family, What We Do in the Shadows.
Parks and
Parks and
Rec.
Recs.
Parks and Rec. It's funny, like the vibe that these things have actually had.
Right. And just thinking of a documentary, I know I could have probably easily done, as I mentioned in the previous episode, this is Spinal Tap, but I was kind of thinking about it today as well. Don't get me wrong, the trolls will get their comments, all one or two or trolls that we might have. We'll get their comments in, but This is Spinal Tap is a great movie, but dare I say, since we just finished the cycle, I think this may be a superior sequel. Had his time to refine the whole mockumentary thing and really get an idea. And this is what, third film of mockumentaries that he's done, and just the idea of all these different characters in this one show, as opposed to just following around a band and that one theme kind of thing. It opened up so many things, and something that's, I guess, a little bit more relatable to people, just being with dogs and things, as opposed to being on the road. Not many people know what it's like being on the road and gigging.
But this is thing kind of Guest said about the relative success of this movie compared to the previous one in the trilogy, Waiting for Guffman. Is he's like, not too many people kind of understand sort of the dynamics and like the characters and like the pressures of kind of putting on like a community theater musical, but a lot of people have dogs, and just like the fact it was just, and a lot of people love dogs, and the fact it was just so much more relatable made this movie a far, far bigger hit than anything he'd done previously.
Yeah, and I think everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people know about Best in Show, these dog shows that they have. They may have seen it flipping through TV and just watched a little bit of it at one point in their life, so it's a little bit more relatable.
And the point you kind of raised about superior sequels is also kind of interesting because I mean, I apologize if this is kind of stepping on trivia like a little bit, but it's kind of confirmed. Both of these movies take place in the same universe.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Napone.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, you saw This Is Spinal Tap recently, like past 5 years, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe I watched it again recently. Yeah.
Yeah. Just I haven't seen that for 20 years, I feel like, or a very long time compared to this one.
That's probably like after college for me. So let's kind of get the general impressions. Eric, Eric, I believe you hadn't seen it before. Napone, had you seen Best in Show previous to this?
So when watching it, I do remember parts of it. I don't know if I ever watched it all the way through. And I think I watched it like on Comedy Central, and like,
so
it
might have been like a cable rewatch. You kind of caught like bits
yeah.
But this is the kind of your first nose to tail, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's start with you. What'd you think?
I wasn't a huge fan of it. I thought there was some good jokes on it. It was a good movie. It was probably better 20 something years ago when it came out. It probably would have felt a little bit more like a better movie to me. But like watching it now, I'm like, none of this stuff kind of landed to me. Some of the jokes, I'm like, it was funny, but it was kind of predictable. Like I knew it was going to happen. For some odd reason, I was expecting him to go through more nuts, and it just was like, that's it. Come on, go. I wanted like, well, I'm not. I was just picturing like
Bubba Gump.
Right.
Yeah, or Richard Christie or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think they had filmed actually about 60 or so hours of dialogue for that film, but I remember reading somewhere 55 of those hours, which is kind of like nut related stuff. So I think the cuts they made were reasonable ones.
It felt like a real closer to a documentary than a mockumentary with like some humor built into it.
Interesting.
Versus like you brought up This Is Spinal Tap, where like that you could clearly tell was like these are funny jokes we're trying to bring into this world, or this documentary style. This Best in Show, I just felt like it was like, okay, we're gonna like make it like a real dog show with these funny kind of people in it.
But they're kind of doing it kind of a little more kind of cinema verite. Like they're funny, but maybe not sort of deliberately funny. The way that it sounds like you're saying, kind of like you felt that Spinal Tap was just kind of maybe more up.
I just remember us quoting Spinal Tap more growing up as well.
Oh, nostalgia glasses.
All right. And Napone, kind of one last question for you. I know that you are a very big fan of Modern Family. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love that show.
So,
and The Office.
Do you feel so like Modern Family and The Office both? Do you feel like a little bit, because those are kind of your standards for mockumentaries right now? Do you feel that that this particular movie, maybe because it's these are kind of just too huge as an adult TV comedies for you, do you feel maybe part of the reason that that Best in Show was like a little bit uninteresting is that you had kind of like these two sort of kind of major points of comparison?
That's quite possible. I actually was like comparing it more to Dodgeball for some odd reason.
Sure.
The feel of the way Dodgeball kind of started and ended. Very similar.
The Fred Willard, the
yes, exactly, and the Jason Bateman.
Two sets of now like Willard versus kind of Bateman, like especially that just that did cross my mind as well.
And I thought that like Fred Willard was kind of like the best part of it because of that, just like random stuff.
Right. A lot of people think it's like a career best kind of performance for him.
He is so good in that role. He's definitely, I agree with you, Napone. Definitely the highlight of the movie for me was Fred Willard as the commentator. definitely.
Andy, so let's go to you. So kind of just general impressions. How was like this rewatch?
So I watched it way back when, and I haven't seen it. I think I watched it when it first came out on, DVD. I probably got the Netflix of it or something like that. And I remember thinking it was kind of boring. This time around, I could see what previous Andy thought. I could definitely see the boring aspects of it. I think for me, the takeaway from this movie more than anything else was like there were just several one-liners in it that I thought were so damn funny, and they were kind of what sold it. Like for some reason, when what's her name, the Stifler's mom,
Jennifer
Coolidge.
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
When she says we both love soup, I almost
that scene, she's basically playing kind of like the contemporary reference would have been like Anna Nicole Smith.
Yep.
Like this guy who looks like he's like kind of like just he looks like he's about like 120 and kind of looks like kind of Colonel Sanders after like a session of chemo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought the line.
Hey, I don't want to throw you off, but I just want to know how much can I bench press?
Yeah. 350 pounds.
That was so good. We were so lucky to have been raised amongst catalogs. I thought was hilarious. How many years ago did he poke me? Was really funny.
So I missed that.
Yeah, that was Catherine O'Hara's character.
I like the one where
what was the quote?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
How many years ago did he poke me?
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
I was gonna say I like the one, although this is probably just me because I'm racist, but the one where it's like Willer goes, he's like French dog, Chinese dog, German dog. He's like, do they all like sound different?
They all bark differently.
They bark differently.
Yeah.
It's like the intonation, maybe.
Andy, like a line that you wrote that I wrote down specifically from the Jennifer Coolidge scene that you're talking about is we could talk or not talk forever.
I wrote that down too.
We could always think of things to not talk about.
Yeah.
So for me, like, go ahead, Naveen. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think just that part of it where I guess you and Napoleon thought it was boring and not as good as that it seems so close to a documentary.
Yeah.
I think that seriousness of it, but with all these lines and things, they're just saying, but they're so stone faced and like, this is who I am. This is how things work.
Yeah.
This is real life. It just makes it that much funnier.
It's so funny and it's so specific to the characters they actually are. That's a huge part of what kind of sells it.
Yeah. So my overall takeaway, I enjoyed it way more this time around than I remember enjoying it the first time around.
Right.
And Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy together are just
impossible chemistry.
They're just so freaking good. It's not even fair. They should be in every movie and every television show.
I took a quick sort of scroll through the like the letterbox reviews of this film. Like after I finished it, like one of my favorite ones was in reference to like kind of future work they did together. Was like the letterbox review was just Schitt's Creek.
And Schitt's Creek, for those that haven't seen it, I can't imagine there's anybody left on earth that hasn't seen that show. What? Come on, guys. Okay, so Eric raised his hand.
10 minutes pilot.
Nobody can see it. Don't announce it. Nobody can see it.
No. I'm calling you out on the rugs because that show is so good. It is so good. I love it. I could watch it over and over and over again.
Fair warning, it starts off slow.
A certain mutual acquaintance of ours made me watch the pilot, and I got like 10 minutes in. I'm like, this is probably slow. Very funny to certain people. Like,
that first season was very tough for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first episode I did watch, and I did thoroughly enjoy it. Maybe it was the first episode, maybe the second episode. But when they're just staring at the sign and they're going like the entrance sign to the city, and just the whole thing's like, what's wrong with this? There's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, that was hilarious. It was, and I don't know why I haven't just gotten into it, but.
The later seasons get so good and they're funny and they're touching and emotional and sentimental. I don't know. I thought it was great. Fabulous show.
Eric, so as like that, as the only one on the panel, this is your first time kind of watching it. What did you think?
I really liked it. Again, having seen like The Office or not Spinal Tap, Modern Family. I haven't seen movies like this, Spinal Tap. I did see A Mighty Wind as well. I actually saw it at the theater back in the day. I'm not sure how I ended up there, or what drew me to that movie, because it doesn't seem like something I would go see. But I really like that movie.
It was kind of like a little bit of like a baby boomer pandering film. So I had like maybe 20 emails from my parents that were just like, "You have to see A Mighty Wind." You have to see
I feel like that one was a little more, maybe a little more serious, a little more touching. It was. I remember coming out of that feeling good and feeling like maybe this is the end to something that they did in a beautiful way. Not knowing, that apparently this was like the third in a trilogy or something like that.
Right.
So maybe if that's the one they're coming off on, like
this
the
Spinal Tap for like the most kind of like out sort of front jokes, but also there's kind of like this kind of like emotional and kind of sentimental through line to it.
Yeah,
Was there a lot of fart
to...
humor in that?
What was that?
Was there a lot of fart humor in that movie?
Maybe. I don't remember.
No.
That was like 20 something years ago. But yeah, I thought this was a great movie. The thing I liked the most was how awkward. So Fred Willard, he just keeps going on and on about nonsense. And I didn't expect it, because I'm like, oh, they're going to actually show the dog show. But no, it's just Fred Willard talking over it most of the time. And his like, I don't know.
They knew what they had.
His co-announcer
right.
It's funny because the co-announcer sort of kind of deals with him at first, and then he just gives up completely. And I was like, that's all you can do in that situation.
All right.
The reveal towards the end of of the dog show that this is not even like the first time the two of them have called the dog show together is really the icing on the cake.
All right. Well, since we keep going back to him, I don't know if this is anybody else's Vigo's toes, but that whole scene, his character was based off of
Joe Garagiola,
who's a baseball player,
right?
Who was a guest judge on a Best in Show, a dog show, and he did the exact same thing. Like just
he knew so much about sports and nothing about dogs whatsoever, but he was so enthusiastic about it. Did he like host like the Westminster Dog Show for like a decade? I might be like,
I don't know if it was that long. Really? I thought it was just one, but his mannerisms and things were just very similar to that.
Yeah.
That's who he was based off of, like someone who, real life actually was acted that way and asked those kind of questions and things.
Which again, we sort of talked last week, but one of kind of like the key kind of stylistic components of mockumentaries, it's this kind of blurring of kind of real life and sort of fictional elements, like a little bit like the idea of a dog show host that knows a ton about sports, but nothing about dogs, or it seems like really anything else at all in the world is it's too ridiculous to actually have been written. So it's the kind of thing that's so nuts. Fred Willard could have only kind of drawn it from like a real life source,
Oh my God. I don't know. I just thought about it while you guys were talking about it. But do you remember the SNL skit with Will Ferrell? I think it was in it. Dog show.
Dog show.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was my first foray into dog show world.
Yep.
Yeah. It's for me, like I remember thinking this movie was funny and liking it kind of just fine, sort of back in college, but sort of revisiting like as an adult and just kind of how my tastes have kind of changed like a little bit. The fact that a lot of these people became much more famous after like this trilogy of like movies actually came out. Like this is Jane Lynch's, I think, first film performance ever. Like she met Christopher Guest filming a Cheerios commercial or something kind of really goofy like that.
Yep.
That in kind of combination with like, for like the 3 or so years I was kind of working in New York, I would kind of constantly sort of go to see comedy shows as much as I could, and sort of in particular sort of improv shows, and sort of thinking about how, again, apologies for kind of stepping on like Vigo's thing, but the script for this movie was only 14 pages long. And they basically just kind of pointed the camera at the actors and then just kind of like go. And they were just kind of riffing stuff off the top of their head. Live in New York for a bit, going to a bunch of improv, seeing some pretty good stuff, and then seeing like a lot of dog shit, just like a lot of kind of real nonsense, and just having like just like a sense of like the level everybody in this movie is operating at, where they don't have a script. They have like a loose outline of their character, and they just have the camera pointed at them, and they just kind of like just go. It really just kind of blew me away like this time.
I was gonna say, jumping in there, I did do some of the reading that you provided.
Okay.
Learning about this film, and I guess the script was longer than they intended it to be, because they were fleshing out the characters so much and kind of who they were and their backstory and stuff like that, that they wanted the actors to kind of like understand who the character was they're playing, so they could take that and then just come up with shit like before the movie. So that was their whole prep, was these are who your characters are. This is the situation. Just go with it.
And just kind of go with it. Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It for me, I mean, there's so many great jokes. There's so many kind of great lines. Weirdly, the thing I maybe laughed the hardest at in the movie was literally the first punchline in the movie. Like, I think when I saw it the first time, I didn't realize how good this thing was, how kind of just diamond cut this was. But it's the therapy session that Meg and Hamilton are having, and they're just kind of talking about like their child had just seen them having sex and seemed to become completely traumatized. Boy, it's going for kind of 5 solid minutes. It's all being played straight, and then it cuts to their dog, who the therapist has provided a mini therapy couch for the dog, and because it's a couch, the dog has lain down on the couch and just kind of gone to sleep. Absolutely, just fucking perfect.
I don't know about you, but when they were therapist kept asking me, he's like, so what were you guys doing? Like, and they're like, oh, we were, having sex, and the dog saw us, and they're like, yeah, so we were doing some kind of experimental stuff, like Kama Sutra stuff. Right. And I was waiting for them the whole time to say doggy style. Just say doggy style.
What they said was so much better. Just okay.
It's true.
Parker Posey just like it's from the Kama Sutra. It's a position called Congress of the Cow.
Yeah, they took that away from me.
Puts out her arms and then receives.
The great part is they made it up for me afterwards with Eugene Levy's 2 left feet. I got 2 left feet. No, he has 2 left feet.
Oh man, his character and everything, he did that really well. I didn't get the teeth, but the teeth were there.
Yeah.
And then like, I was a bit of Casanova myself. On stealing all
the high school photo. It's like cross-eyed.
Cookie is just she's nodding. She's just trying to be supportive. Like I don't know. Just watching this time, especially. Do you guys have like do you guys have like a favorite running joke for the movie? For me, it was just Cookie and like all the ex-boyfriends just had me in tears every time.
I think that's the best running joke they have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So let's kind of pop into like some like the kind of discussion points a bit. Have you guys ever watched an actual dog show, dog competition on TV? Was it anything like this? And does this movie kind of make you curious about kind of going to one day?
So I watched the National Dog Show every Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Like all the way through?
That's
all
hard.
the way through, start to finish. And then oftentimes because they replay it immediately after, oftentimes I will watch the intro again. I'm obsessed with it. It is arguably, I don't know how long it is, 2 hours or whatever, of the most ridiculous television on TV every year, because you've got these people that just take themselves so incredibly seriously, and they're stupid little dogs, and they run them around this, they trot around in these really frumpy outfits and ill-fitting suits and
Mhm.
dad shoes
The,
and
the-
whatever.
the people or the dogs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And-
All the humans.
Yep. And I don't know. I get such a kick out. I mean, not to mention, I love dogs and I love seeing the dogs, and I think it's a lot of fun. It allows me to fill my annual quota of asking or shouting at the television. Why didn't the English Bulldog win? I get to do that every year, which is great. Although, if memory serves, an English Bulldog did win maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So that was a high point in my life, I would say.
Mhm. So for
Man,
the costumes,
really
have they ever
tragic life.
done?
Very low bar for me, guys. I would say that the movie portrays the actual competition part pretty accurately. I obviously can't speak to the behind the scenes shenanigans that go on, but I would say the way that and the reason it was so good, we're all stepping on each other's Vigo's toes at this point.
Right.
They brought in actual dog handlers and
judges.
Judges.
And they had to run their own
Sure.
fucking dog show pretty much, because every dog show, actual professional dog show they talked to were just like, we want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we want nothing to do with this.
You know what though?
It really-
No obstacle course.
No, that would really,
Unbelievable.
honestly, that would make the dog show all the more entertaining for me.
I think it would have been great if you added that to the movie.
Yep.
They could do different obstacles, and the dogs do something silly or I don't know.
Yep.
And actual dog costumes. Fred Willard was describing seeing the Bloodhound in like in like a Sherlock Holmes hat, pipe, and
Yeah.
The pipe. You can,
that's pretty great.
how can you make like little smoke come out of it?
Yeah. So, would I be interested in going to a dog show? Absolutely not.
Absolutely no.
Unless it was somebody told me I could go for free and I could sit there and take the piss out of it the whole time. And that
I
would be
feel
a lot of
like
fun.
on Thanksgiving, you're just like in a room by yourself watching this alone. Like nobody's around. You're screaming at like the TV, but nobody can hear you because they're so far away from that room.
Nobody likes that mastiff.
What's your point?
What's my point? I mean, look, hey, we're all into our own thing. So, I mean,
No, this is a no judgment zone, Eric. Come on, man.
I'm just glad I don't have a dog you can babysit.
Andy, sorry to tell you.
What's that, Johnny?
That's not that.
All right.
John's like, I've got a mastiff you could handle.
What?
What about you, Napone?
Just walk out with it like John Michael Higgins. Just.
I don't think I've ever watched a dog show all the way through.
Okay.
Missing out.
And I probably wouldn't watch one after this either. I can't imagine it being that much different. And hopefully, I would hope there would be humor in it, but it'd probably be less funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
Nope.
It is straight up serious.
It's almost entirely humorless, which makes it so much funnier.
I was going to say, you guys have probably watched Puppy Bowl, right?
Hell
Isn't that
yeah.
like a dog show?
A dog
sort?
show? Yeah.
How
No,
dare you?
no. Is that
Not
like
really.
borderline like softcore porn or?
That is sacrilege, is what that is.
Is that what that is? Yeah.
Naveen, you got to cut that part out.
Those dogs have no obedience. Who
Oh,
trained
man.
these dogs?
Eric's just
Well,
embarrassing
they're
himself.
puppies.
When the phone said he's never finished a dog show, what he actually meant was like, oh, I always finish early.
Oh, God, no.
Dean cut all that out too. None of
Ooh,
it's
no,
in
leave
yet.
that in. Andy wants to
Bury it in
listen
the
to that
desert.
again later.
You.
Naveen, what do you think?
Yeah, same as Napone. Probably we've been watching TV together and just flipping through, and we watched a little bit of a dog show. So never actually saw one all the way through. I have seen some of the ones, and again, just bits and pieces of it. But the ones with the obstacle courses or where they have to speed through stuff, that's pretty amazing. And I would definitely love to go watch something like that,
Right.
as opposed to just a regular dog show where they're just looking at how they're groomed and all those things.
Right.
Uh,
It's
possibly, but
kind of
not high.
rapping about like the balls and throat, like it doesn't.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, I actually wrote this down. I don't know if it means anything or not, but I use the word obstacle course because I feel it's more relatable, but I guess they call it an agility course. So the dogs are supposed to do it as quick as possible and as clean as possible. There's also something called a rally. Maybe Andy, do you know what a rally is?
Not
I guess
by
it's
name.
so a rally is when
They
the
pass the
trainer
cards to each
and the
other?
dog both have to do different activities together.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's like a father-daughter dance kind of thing.
Oh, I have to see that now. I'm taking a note.
Does the does an owner with like a bloodhound have to solve like a murder case? I mean, what's
It's possible. They actually have something called hunting as well. They have like 3 different versions of it. I guess they have hunting for like hunting dogs, so they have them track a bird. They have another one where they have it by scent.
all right?
Oh God, what's the other one? The other one is, I think it's if dogs
3
can
Saturday nights on a Friday.
lead people to like a moving body of water. Okay, I'm making that last one up.
Right. I don't know, like if like the dog shows were actually about like the dog has to solve a mystery or something like that, that might make it like a little bit more compelling. But
That's Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, that exists already.
right.
I think that
Yeah.
That's Scooby Doo, which we already kind of did in like the last movie. So
Who is it, Scoop?
Kinda.
Bro.
Ruh-roh.
So next question: do you guys think there's some kind of reality in like the way that the dog owners were sort of portrayed? Where they what did these were actors improvising and having to deal with dogs they didn't actually kind of like own themselves? Did they kind of do you guys having or having had dogs at some point, did they sort of come off natural as dog owners to you?
I need Andy to answer this one. He's
I actually
resident expert.
I do have an answer on this.
Let's hear it.
So my answer is I am 100% positive that there are some truly weird dog owners out there, dog show people out there. And I have proof of this. So a ways back when I lived in Western Massachusetts, I worked for a woman who used to go to dog shows with dogs. She had these little terrier type things.
Iguanas.
Iguanas.
Well,
Animals?
you just mentioned that it goes to dog show with dogs. So I was
As opposed to, yes. Well, I mean, like, in other words, she doesn't just go to be a spectator. She actually went and showed her dogs on the weekends, all throughout the Northeast.
So the iguana stayed home, like.
Yeah, the
What about
iguana
the-
not able to come.
The gerbil wranglers.
Yes. And I always felt like she was like one bad dog show, one bad weekend away from burning the bank down. So she was super sweet. She was a lovely woman, but she was definitely a little special, a little different and interesting. So if she is any indicator, there is a 1,000% chance that there are just some, like I said, truly weird dog owners out there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this is why you watch every year, is because you're looking for those freaks.
I'm hoping for something to happen. One of these years, something amazing is going to happen.
It's like the people that are into NASCAR just for the car crashes.
Yeah. I'm going to be the only one who's going to be jealous.
I'll be honest. If you go on YouTube and you type in like funny dog shows, they have these just like all these clips you can watch of like, they have this one, I forget what is it called? Klutz? I think it's called like Klutz or something. I watched a couple of these. It's like, and it has 2 commentators, both British, both have beautiful accents. And they sit there and they're like, oh, look what the dogs are doing. They show all the best of clips, and they'll show like dogs running out, and they get all kind of nervous and then turn around, just take a shit on the ground. But I love, they had one where it's like, the dog came out, the dog took a shit, and they're like, oh, look at him go. He's all nervous, the little beast. And then they keep cutting to different clips where it's like some dog high fives somebody, or another one licks like a judge's mouth or something. And it goes back to that original dog taking a shit. He's like, round 2, here we go again. He's like, good thing he got it out now. That's the stuff that you miss out on. That's the truly beautiful stuff they should be including. Like, I don't know, little extras at the end for people to actually stick through.
Like after credit scene.
The B-roll, the outtakes.
Andy, the dog show you watch, do they get excited when they win like they were in Best in Show?
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
But the ones that I like better are the ones that are obviously sort of stoic human beings, or they're trying their best to hold, to remain professional. And like you can see they get this little jolt of excitement.
Right.
It's like a little head shake or a little butt wiggle or something. And
Finger up ass.
yeah. Woo. And then they bring it back. They have to bring it back in and keep that emotion inside for later.
That Cocker Spaniel just got a little bit turgid.
Oh God, I don't like that word at all.
We can take that out also.
Do not like that word.
All I think of is turducken. I like that word.
You think about turducken when you hear the word turgid. I don't know how I feel about that, Eric. This is
what I thought of.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right, so this was a bit of a conversation that we kind of had for the Deadstream episode we did previously as well. But outside of like the kind of considerations of how they are as dog owners, would you say that the 5 groups of participants that we kind of see like in the movie, the Christopher Guest and the 4 couples? I mean, there's one very obvious exception here, but would you call them generally good people? Like, how would you just kind of describe them in those terms?
I like how you ask an honest question and you expect an honest response.
Oh my dude, like this was all on the stack.
You're like, look, I don't get paid to do this, okay?
I don't get paid to do anything at the moment. What do you want?
I'm just here for you guys.
All right. We're these good people.
They're not good people, Johnny. None of them. I mean, yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yes and no. I mean, and I think it's obvious who the bad people are in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they think they're good. And I will say, I think Jerry is genuinely a good guy.
Jerry was...
in Christopher Guest's character, I think he's probably the most, genuinest of all.
Okay.
I like the fact that Christopher Guest's character, I forget what his name is in this.
Harlan Pepper.
Harlan.
Thank you. Harlan.
What a great name. Great name.
When he meets Jane Lynch's character, and then she comes up there trying to intimidate him. She's like, "Oh, nice dog here. You know who I am, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do, and I don't."
Yeah.
All right, sure. Right. He doesn't he lets it, he doesn't let it get to him too much, but he also doesn't give away the game. Like, yes, I know who you are. You're amazing. Your dog. Oh my God. What are we going to do?
It's a wild, it's maybe one of the most subtle scenes in the show. It's one I had like I remember kind of back in the day watching this movie and having like a hard time figuring out why that scene was kind of actually included, because what the effort and intimidation and kind of like the jockeying for status, and like the fact she's trying to kind of mind game him like a little bit, and he's kind of aware of it, but he kind of doesn't kind of care at the same time. I mean, it's
going to come back to that, or something was going to happen as a result of that, and they just kind of left at that. And then I don't think Harlan's character ever says anything until like the post dog show with him with the ventriloquist dummy. But I guess when you asked this question, I was thinking too, and this was something I was curious your guys' opinion on. Do you think that Cookie genuinely loves Jerry?
Yes.
Yeah,
you do.
I
running jokes, despite like when she goes
I think that he does. I think that if they did not have Winky, their marriage would have fallen apart at that point. I think it's one of those situations.
Nope, she loves him through and through.
Through and through, you think?
Through and through.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because she clearly can have any. I mean, she had literally quote unquote.
She can, or she's had.
Well, I'm sure she could go back to any of them based on the way that they were reacting to her.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Well, one of them still wanted, like the ex-boyfriend that they went to stay with. Still,
they all
Malcolm. Yeah. Malcolm wanted her. The guy at the end there. That was.
I don't know. It's just like the scene at the reception the day before the show, and how Cookie has her name tag not on her shirt. She's got that low cut shirt, and just boom,
right on her chest.
Yeah,
it's just right on itself. I think they love each other, but I think having a dog is really the thing that's kind of holding it together.
I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, I bet they don't have sex. I bet he loves her. He genuinely loves her. Although by the end of the movie, he seems kind of fed up with the fact that every guy they run into, recognizes
his microphone. He said, "Boom."
Yeah,
That was good. I liked that part a lot.
But I wasn't sure. I'm like, I think she likes the fact that he accepts her for who she is. Maybe forgives her for her flaws, but at the same time, I'm like, it's probably a sexless home, and she just thinks he's goofy, and she likes that goofballness, but not much more than that there. Although I do love the scene that you guys mentioned earlier with the Philadelphia cream cheese. Hey, honey, did you hear this? They're gonna go to Philadelphia. They're gonna hear how cream cheese is made. Yeah, I want to go do that too. Yeah.
Well, like, I need to go to the Diet Cream Cheese Factory.
Light. See how they make it light.
Like, yeah.
I literally in my notes of that scene, I just wrote down "White People the movie."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Diet cream cheese.
I got a sense of there's something about Mary with that couple.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody wanted Mary.
Mary and Cookie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It kind of felt like it was the movie. There's something about Mary. So, and again, that's why I think their love is through and through.
Okay.
That's the one that's accepting with her and will do he'll do what he can for her, and she loves it. And
a good point to make too is the fact that they were at the hotel for the dog show. They didn't have enough to pay to stay at the hotel. Yet she's still with him, but she's not with him for money, clearly. So I mean, that's kind of like an indicator as well that
she's incredibly patient and supportive, like in that moment.
But
I was getting an awful lot of shit about having to sleep in a supply closet.
I thought she was going to break at some point, though. Like she was actually like sleeping with all these people. Or I thought like when they would see the ex-boyfriend, he kissed her. He's like, oh, that's how they kiss in like Europe or something like that. And then he just grabs her again and kisses her like full in. I was like, oh, this is it. It's coming out. The secret's coming out.
But nope.
Oh no, they wouldn't give me that either.
Did you guys have a favorite dog from the movie?
Oh, I think Harlan's dog was my favorite.
Yeah,
Bloodhound.
I know who John's is.
Wow.
The big bloodhound, Harlan Peppers.
Harlan
Pepper. I like Harlan Pepper's dog. A lot of fun, saggy skin. You just kind of lovable mutt. I think John's is Beatrice by far. Tell me I'm wrong.
Winky kind of stole my heart.
Winky. Winky.
I love a
Return to Oz.
I love a dumb little song about your pet. I love like the terrier mailbox that like the two of them kind of have like outside their house. I love that there's this one kind of talking heads interview with like the couple, and it's not particularly funny, but like the terrier at one point just looks right into the camera and does like sort of like this perfect goofy like fucking like terrier kind of calendar face like into it. Like it's just, I don't know.
It's a valid choice. Winky was cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
You mentioned calendar, right? I have this insane idea, guys. I don't know. Just women washing their dogs, getting all wet and like soapy and it gets all hot and
right. Women washing their dogs
make a whole book on it,
with the wind happening in the background.
Not reenacting old movies.
Yeah, you could reenact old movies as well.
Ryan Napone, what do you got?
Favorite dog?
I like the Harlan Peppers dog.
Yeah.
That was definitely my favorite. It's the first one I thought of when you asked the question.
Yeah.
I don't really like Shih Tzus in general, so I like mops. I can't even remember what Parker Posey's dog looked like off the top of my head right now.
It was a
Weimaraner.
Weimaraner or Weimaraner, right?
Yeah, Weimaraner.
Like a short hair gray dog.
Yeah, it's like a brown gray, silvery.
Like a brown dog, but it's gray.
The Bloodhound just seems like a natural dog.
Yeah. I would let Parker Posey kind of scratch the front of my neck if she kind of really felt like something.
Only she had the braces.
The braces and the bangs. I mean, like there's a very sort of specific.
No, I can't do bangs.
Oh man,
Really?
the two of them were so off-putting in this movie.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand looking
Upsetting.
at them.
They did a good
Oh.
job. They did a
Yeah,
really good job.
They were
What
awesome.
a shitty couple. They're
Yeah,
both shitty humans. I mean, that guy. What's his name? It's Hamilton, right? Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
He was probably, I think, the worst character. Like, not the worst character, but he's like the worst of all, like the dog trainers. That's the thing where he's like, they're at the dog show. They lost the Busy Bee, and then he's looking at the dog. He's like, no, don't focus on them. They're fat asses. They're losers. No.
Look at me.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me. I was like, it doesn't even care about the dog.
Yeah. So like the story Hamilton and Meg taught, sort of like kind of told about like how they met, like, just like, oh, we met in Starbucks, not like the same Starbucks. Like I was in one Starbucks and he was across the street, the other Starbucks, and then he would come across one day, but I'd be in the first Starbucks.
Yeah, that was really good.
I weirdly had a experience like that in Vegas just after like a pandemic kind of ran down. It's like, I love like the neighborhood that I live in, but there's really kind of nothing to walk to. So if I go like kind of 20-25 minutes down the street, there's kind of like a smallish plaza. It's got like a grocery store and a Starbucks in it, but that's like the only coffee I can really walk to. And I don't care for kind of Starbucks at all, but sometimes I want to take a walk and get like a shitty cup of coffee and then kind of head back. And I remember once this happened to my memory over the course of like 3 weeks, where I was walking to that Starbucks, and about halfway through my walk, I passed what had used to be like this empty parking lot, and there was a sign in the parking lot that said "Coming soon, Starbucks." And then like 2 weeks after that, there was a fully formed and constructed Starbucks that was almost at the exact halfway point between my home and the actual Starbucks I was going to. And just every time I've seen, every time when I saw that Starbucks, and every time I've walked past it since then, I just like that scene from like Best in Show just kind of pops in my head.
It's like if you went to the first Starbucks
Mhm.
and then you're like, should I get the lemon pound cake? I won't get it today. And then you're on your way back and you pass the other Starbucks and you're like, I'll get the lemon pound cake.
It's a sign. I got to get the pound
Smart
cake.
business. It's smart
And,
business.
and this is why the company has more money than the U.S. government.
There you go.
Well,
Yep.
it always reminds me of the Simpsons scene
Oh
Where-
yeah.
in the mall.
Our park goes to get like an ear piercing, and
Yeah, it's like, hurry up, we're gonna close soon. They're turning this place into a Starbucks.
right.
And then he leaves the store, and like every single
Ah.
single store in the mall is a Starbucks.
And he's also got a pierced ear hand. He's holding like a latte.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with the "In the Year 2000" reference from Conan.
In the year 2000.
Anybody knows that one? In the year 2000, Starbucks is going to build another Starbucks inside the Starbucks.
That fucking happened at some point, right? It's been like a quarter century. There has to be kind of meta things with them.
Probably.
I feel like the one group of dog owners that we haven't mentioned at all that I feel deserve a shout out are Stefan Vanderhoof and Scott Donlin, who are Michael McKeon, and I can't think of the other actor's name offhand.
John Michael Higgins.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought they were great too. I thought that John Michael Higgins' character was hilarious. I thought he was great.
Every single thing that he said, and every single thing he said and did in this movie was so goddamn.
His
good.
mannerisms during the dog show, where he's got his arms out and he's just walking with the strut.
Everybody with a dog, you just have to start like just walking your dogs like that. Just
So goddamn funny. I thought that was great. Anyway, I think that they deserved at least a little bit of our airtime.
Right.
I guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but John Michael Higgins, what I read from that thing you shared with me is, I guess he wasn't a big improv guy.
Really?
He's a theater guy, but he wasn't an improv guy. And so when he got this character, he was just kind of like, I'll just figure it out. And I was just like, man, he fucking, just
he
killed
nailed
it. He just killed it. Yeah.
He's a guy that's been in like a million different things.
Hasn't he? His small roles and stuff. Yeah.
I can't think of a
I
single
think he
thing
hosts a
that-
game show now or something like that.
Maybe. I have no idea. I
America
can think of
says.
one thing. What's that, Napone?
America Says. That's
America
the game
Says.
show.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is either.
Oh my God. I did notice this line I wrote down, but the best line I thought that he said that Scott said was they're watching the video of Christy out there with like the poodle, and he goes, he's like, look how Christy looks. She looks like a cocktail waitress on an oil rig.
Yeah, that was a good
It
line.
caught me off guard. I was losing it. I was like, what the, who the fuck comes up with that?
That was a great line. Yeah, it was.
What was that? It's just his first monologue in the movie. He's talking about before he and Michael McKean were dating. He's like, yeah, Manhattan on a Friday night. I'd have 3 Saturday nights and then I'd go home. And
Yeah.
it's like a split-second shot of some just crazy bondage thing.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, they were good.
All right, so last question before we kind of get to trivia, but how many kimonos do you actually need for a 2-day trip?
6? No, 7.
8?
Maybe one more.
Yeah.
I take great umbrage to this question. I'm offended personally by it. How can I possibly answer such a broad question without just so much more information? I made a list of the information I need. It depends on where you're going, who you're going with, what's the climate like? Is it business or pleasure? Romantic trip with your significant other or weekend trip with the boys? What's the occasion? Everybody knows you need fewer kimonos for a bachelor party than you do for your daughter's quinceañera. Come back to me when you're ready to start asking serious, better researched questions, Johnny. Jesus Christ.
I
That's
mean,
my question. But all right.
Andy, when you're with your
then,
friends,
Naveen,
it's always pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
sure,
You need several kimonos for that.
but he didn't specify in the question. I'm sorry, Johnny. I take it back. I'm now mad at Naveen, not at you.
I just what irritates me about this question is when Naveen proposed it, I'm like, I could try to think of something, but Michael McKean, his line was like, how many tea services are you actually going to do?
Yeah.
The perfect joke has already been written.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're
know?
totally right.
All right. We like we said earlier, we probably kind of stepped on a bunch of these already, but let's kind of go into Vigo's toes. Trivia, behind the scenes, or anything else like about the movie you want to discuss. Would you guys mind if I actually kind of took the lead on this one?
Do it. I got one, but go.
This is maybe kind of my favorite bit of kind of movie trivia ever, but on the Wikipedia page, they have the names of the actual names of the dogs performing in this movie. I don't know if anybody else looked this up.
Oh wow, no.
Seriously.
Yeah,
No.
No, I didn't look it up. Yeah, go for it.
All right. This is going to sound like my bullshit. This is going to sound like just real. Johnny made all of these up. I didn't even type these out. This is just copy pasted word for word from Wikipedia. All of these, with the exception of Hubert the Bloodhound, all of these dogs were champions of dog shows run by the Canadian Kennel Club. So they all have to be prefixed with Canadian champion before you actually sort of list their name. And there's this kind of like official name and kind of call names. I'm just going to detail the official names. The official names have to kind of start with Canadian champion, except for Hubert the Bloodhound, who's like an American champion, so we can kind of just call him champion here. But I'm not making these up. Beatrice the Weimaraner, his actual sort of official name is a Canadian champion. Aerocat Echo Bar Take Me Dancing. Winky the Norwich Terrier is Canadian champion Urchin's Brillo. Hubert the Bloodhound, the one domestic champion, he is just champion Quiet Creeks Stand By Me.
What the fuck?
What?
Miss Agnes the Shih Tzu is Canadian champion Rapture's Classic.
Holy
Tyrone
shit,
the Shih Tzu is played by Canadian champion Maroon's Red Hot Kisses, and then
Maroon,
White, aka Butch the Standard Poodle, is known as a Canadian champion. Excel Desi does it with pizzazz.
Is there the citation thing on there? There's got to be the citation thing where like more research is needed.
Wait. Can Andy confirm this? You've seen dog shows, like actual dog shows, all the way through. Is this typical of dogs' names on? Do they say the dogs' names, or is that like
refer to them that way? No, like I mean, typically it's
like poodle, golden retriever.
No, I mean they'll say the name of the dog sometimes. Okay. But it's like
the difference between call name versus the full official name. Like
there must be like I don't know. They must have like a
call name with something, and here comes Ratch the terrier.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
wow. How do you even come up with that kind of shit?
I think this goes back to our previous question about like what kind of people actually get into like training dogs and dog shows,
particularly in Canada by the looks of things. But
in Canada,
Desi does it with pizzazz. No,
it gets
Canadian
really cold
champion Desi does it with pizzazz. Fuck, it just breaks my brain.
Yep, it's a great name.
That's all I had. That's all I have for trivia.
I was just saying, if John has kids someday, it's the name's been taken, John. Sorry.
Canadian champion. Mutsu.
Yeah.
Mutsu alligator chase hieroglyph.
Yeah. My favorite piece of trivia is how when they get to the when Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara get to the hotel, there's let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 clocks behind Ed Begley Jr. On the wall. And they're all set. So they're all set to Eastern Standard Time because it's for Boston, New York, Baltimore, Miami, and Philadelphia. 5 separate clocks.
Great joke. That is.
I thought that was great. I didn't notice it during the movie. I noticed. I found out about it as I was researching Vigo's Toes and had to go back and watch the scene to confirm. And God, that is so damn funny. I love that. And also, we didn't mention it, but one of my favorite funny parts of the actual movie itself is Catherine O'Hara's leg at the end when she's got the buckling knee.
Wobbly leg. Is,
oh my God.
Christ.
Improv.
Alongside when that happened, I thought the funniest line was when she's telling Jerry that he's got to go on, and she says, "Jerry, you've got to show Winky." In my head, it's just like, oh man,
I didn't even
they
catch
named that dog for that one joke. They named that dog for that one joke.
I didn't even catch that. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah. So I didn't have trivia. What I did is I took the alternate question, which was name Catherine O'Hara's ex-boyfriend or Cookie's ex-boyfriend.
What would your ex-boyfriend name?
What is your Cookie Flex ex-boyfriend nickname?
Thank you. So my Cookie Flex ex-boyfriend name is I take Fatty Jerkins, aka Flubber. So I sat there, I said it, I thought it was silly, and then I was like, there has to be somebody named Fatty Jerkins. So I looked it up online, and I found a band in Colorado called Fatty Jerkins. And they have a Bandcamp page, and I went on it. They only have one song available to download, and it's called Wiggle My Dizzy Stick. And apparently it's a cover song by a band called the Scabs, so it's not even an original song.
Can I wait? Point of clarification, Eric. When you say Fatty, when you say Fatty Jerkins, are you talking Jerkins Jerkins or Gherkins like the pickle Gherkins?
I was flip-flopping on that, but
either is funny. So there's no wrong answer.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the J, but I thought the G was a good one.
Okay, got it.
By the way, Fatty is spelled with a PHF.
Right.
So, in case you're curious.
Yeah, obviously.
And if you dig in, it turns out both of them had dated Catherine O'Hara. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Nice.
I also had an entry for what's your Cookie Fleck ex-boyfriend name?
You
Wait,
kind of
Did
cut
he
out.
cut that
You got to
out?
say that one again?
what was it? Cut out? Say it again. Kevin.
All right. Is that Jigglypuff?
All right.
That's kind of gross, but all right. All right. I didn't have
What
any.
was it? I
name-
didn't hear it. No.
Naveen, make a call on that.
Kevin.
Make a call on that one, and
Okay.
you can do what you need to.
Yeah. I mean, it's staying in, but
Oh, it's
I just want to make it clear I don't condone that one.
okay.
Enough crowd.
All right.
We're all on
I
board.
didn't have a name, but a couple of quick Vigos toes. One, Ed Begley Jr. is talking about the sanitation room and all the cleaning supplies,
Mhm.
and that whole thing. The nod with the band was back to Spinal Tap,
Uh-huh.
which is pretty neat. And
Roasting the
There's a
lamb.
band
and
that roasted a whole goat
the goat.
Yeah.
That's
in
right.
your room. It took us forever to get out the smell of cumin.
yeah. And then along the thing that you were mentioning about the names,
Mhm.
that all the dogs used were show dogs, actual show dogs,
Mhm.
except for one, because they had a show dog, and the owner
Mhm.
pulled their poodle out, which was a poodle, pulled their poodle out because they weren't the winner of the fake dog show.
Mhm.
What?
Yep.
What?
So,
There
so
you go.
for Andy's
That's
much like
proven.
earlier point, like this, it does seem like all those people have to be like insane, right? Like
They're all
Weird.
super
they're-
weird.
they're-
Weird bastards. They're not going to listen to this pod. Weird bastards.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck them.
I mean, if they're that fixated on winning the fake funny dog show, like I can't.
Yeah.
even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bone, did you
Trivia
have
with
any-
us, or do you have any ex-boyfriend nicknames you want to share?
Oh, I wish I had either. Unfortunately, I don't.
Well, I have one or two more that I can throw in for you, Napone.
Sure, go ahead.
Parker Posey actually got real braces for this movie.
Yep.
Mm.
I've had
Specifically,
that one, but I figured you guys all do that already.
Yep. There was that one. But another one that is really great is Eugene Levy actually wrote both of the Terrier songs that he performed in the movie with Catherine O'Hara,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
I love how Eugene Levy tries to kind of do like a badass rock star thing with her, because they're the record they're trying to cut is called Captain and Cookie Beg for It. But that unfortunately sort of gets interrupted by like the sound producer Bulge, who
Idiot Bulge.
Oh, whoa, wait. I got a question. I just thought of this. So, John, you said all the different dogs' actual names that were in the movie. Did you bring up the pug?
I don't have any information about the pug. You have
I was
someone
curious about that pug. If that is like I don't know, like a well-trained pug to like hump legs, or is that just like a pug off the street, or
Can you imagine being the dog trainer and be like, hump that leg?
yeah, I
That
know.
leg.
Attack that leg. Go
And even
now.
the pug is like, I'm sort of getting mixed messages here. Like, what am I supposed to?
I like the eye contact too. I was like, that's sweet.
Yep.
The dog just
The whole
wants attention.
therapy scene, even in the beginning, you're thinking like, is this?
Interesting.
Am I watching the right movie?
Yeah.
And then the end, they're all colorful. They got these bright colored sweaters and things.
Their sex is a lot better. Like that,
Yeah.
their dog is non-judgmental.
They don't mind the dog watching.
Watching. Oh God, that's so
Oh,
weird.
he wants to participate so bad.
Okay, so sort of final question on that, unless there's any more kind of trivia. Is there a biggest nasty freak in the movie?
Nasty.
Because I was going to
Parker Posey.
nominate Larry Miller, who we've not talked about or sort of kind of given his laurels, but
That's a great one.
yeah.
That's a great one.
Which one was Larry
I
Miller?
also
He was Cookie's ex-boyfriend, who was the
kissed him
who
on
was
the
like
mouth.
the guy who tried to talk
Yeah.
people out of kind of jumping off roofs.
yeah.
The irritators, they always jump.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
And then he comes out, he runs on the roof with a terrier and parachute. And he's like, I got this, honey. I do this for work. And it's like, you see this thumb? This is the thumb that's going to gouge your eyes out.
Got your eyes out. I actually think
What a
his
church
son,
of jelly.
his son Zach might be the biggest nasty freak.
Sure.
I think that kid is completely screwed,
Mhm.
and it only gets worse for him from there. And if he's willing to throw a dog off a roof with a makeshift parachute, who knows what else he's doing behind the scenes?
He clearly doesn't have a great sense of kind of how parachutes work or kind of
Nope.
like the elevation gain that you need.
Yep. Nope. Doesn't get it.
I was gonna go with the pug.
The pug.
The pug's the nastiest freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Doesn't care who's watching.
Contact's a good part of that.
Yeah.
Look, he's doing it right there. There's 3 other people.
Oh yeah, he was
No shame.
full on aggression. Exactly.
Closing thoughts on this movie before we go on to Sorbet?
I forgot to say this beforehand, but I did enjoy Jennifer Coolidge's acting in this. It wasn't like her over the top self, which I was expecting when I first started watching it. So I was like, I kind of enjoyed that kind of aspect of the movie,
She's
that she
really funny.
didn't play everything that she did before.
Yeah. I
she was good in
I
it.
laughed so hard at the pop-up of Jane Lynch's character being named Christy Cummings. It was amazing.
Yeah.
She was one of my favorite characters in this. I just didn't understand why they had the relationship between her and what's her name? Jennifer
Jane Lynch.
Jane Lynch and was it Jennifer Coolidge at the end there? I was like, I don't know. That didn't really add anything to it. But it's like they're like, what do they say? Oh, it looks like Butch has 2 mommies.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure.
Nice. All right. So let's move on to kind of sorbet quickly here. So I was kind of bouncing around for like different sort of stuff that we could do, but again, as I mentioned earlier, I've never been a dog owner myself, and I thought it might be kind of interesting to kind of do like a little kind of quick quiz show thing with you guys and sort of see what just kind of what you kind of know and don't know about dogs. So I've got 8 questions here. I'm going to be tracking the points, so please just kind of buzz in either with your name or with your dog's name. How about that?
Is this multiple choice?
Some are multiple choice, some are true or false, some are going to be Price is Right rules.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll kind of explain like
I'm just going to something random.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. First question. As of 2023, what is America's least popular dog breed? Okay, this is multiple choice. Multiple choice.
After 2023.
A, the Grand Basset Griffon Vendine. B, the English Foxhound. C, the North African Sloughi. Or D, the Norwegian Lundhound.
Eric.
No.
The Grand Basset Vin Diesel.
No, it is. It is not the Grand Basset Griffon Vendine.
Buzz.
Andrew. Oh. Oh, that's right. It was supposed to be the dog's names. Naveen gets it.
Okay, no. I think I hear Naveen say something first. I want you.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the foxhound.
It is not the Foxhound.
Oh.
Coco.
Andy.
The Norwegian one.
It is not the Norwegian Lundhound either.
Whatever the last one was.
I remember the last one.
The pony can still buzz in. Go.
Opie, I don't remember what the last one was.
Say B.
Just say C.
B?
C.
C.
All
C.
All right. I'm giving the point to Napone for just kind of playing the percentages. It's
Fair.
the North African Sloughi. A point for Napone. Now, according to
I was going to go with that one originally, but I thought it'd be racist.
When was it? When was it popular?
no, like the least popular.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely
but
not
when was
the
it
bug.
popular to become least popular? Like,
Okay, so like a little background. According to the American Kennel Club, the North African Sloughi ranks 200th in breed popularity in America, behind the other 3 dogs mentioned. The Sloughi is a sight hound, similar in appearance to greyhounds and Salukis. They are known for their qualities as hunting and guard dogs, and it's thought that the ancestor breeds of the Sloughi were actually the ones depicted in Egyptian tomb paintings and hieroglyphics.
Oh, they're cute.
Yeah, every time you see like kind of like a skinny, pointy like a dog and like next to a
with
pyramid or
human
something like
body.
that, it's probably like a North African Sloughi.
Anubis.
They're kind of greyhoundy sort of looking.
Yeah.
They're cute.
They walk with 2 left feet.
Obviously.
Not well.
They can go really fast, but only in a circle.
In loops. They just-
Yeah. Should see them dance.
Question 2. This is going to be a true or false question. True or false? Dogs can only see in black and white.
Buzz.
Naveen.
False.
False.
Is it Busy Bee?
Yeah.
Busy Bee.
I'm buzzing in. The buzzer.
False. You are correct. False. So the idea of dogs only seeing in grayscale is a myth attributed to dog trainer Will Judy in 1937. Current research suggests dogs can see a range of colors similar to humans that have severe red-green color blindness. And not to defend Meg or Hamilton's Swan here, but there is actual evidence dogs specifically prefer yellow tennis balls over tennis balls of other colors.
Interesting.
Yellow and black.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, 3. All right, so this is multiple choice. What was the first dog breed to receive modern training as guide dogs for the blind? A, Labrador Retriever. B, German Shepherd. C, Golden Retriever. D, Boxer.
Buzz.
Obi.
Andy, did you say Buzz?
Nope.
Okay.
Naveen did.
All right. It was Naveen by half a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with A.
Congratulations on adopting your dog Buzz, by the way. That has to be.
I'm doing what I
Buzz.
can. He's got many different names.
All right. Okay. It was not the Labrador Retriever.
Eric.
Oh.
No.
German Shepherd.
German Shepherd is the one.
Yeah.
Choo choo.
I thought that was too obvious.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well,
That's why I picked it.
wait to hear the reason. The first modern guide dog schools were established in Germany after World War I, where German Shepherds were trained to assist blinded veterans, guys who basically kind of lost their sight in combat. International interest in guide dogs was peaked in 1927 after Dorothy Harrison Eustace, an American dog trainer living in Switzerland. For some reason, I picture exactly like Jane Lynch. Wrote about the German dog training schools for like the Saturday Evening Post magazine back in the States.
Wouldn't they just be shepherds though in Germany?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we just called them nuts. We go. Half a point for Napoleon. That made me laugh.
Absolutely.
Hey.
All right. Okay. So this next one, it's going to be a Price is Right rules percentage question. Okay, so that's close as you can get without going over.
Okay.
All right. Price is Right rules, close as you can get without going over 1 to 100%. What percent of dogs in the United States sleep in their owner's bed?
Coco.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say 37%.
37.
Oh my God. I was thinking that exact number.
No
All right.
way.
Yes. That's the exact number I thought of.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
everybody gets the answer.
All right, Eric.
Oh, 16. Go.
I'm going to say 26%.
Okay, 26 from Eric.
Napoleon, you said 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
16 from Napoleon. Naveen, and what's your guess?
I'm going 73.
70.
Oh, dirty
That's a
guy.
whole
What's sleeping
bid.
with dogs?
Very
Yeah.
cool. Let's see if he gets that mattress set. The winner there is closest without going over is actually Andy. 45% of dogs in the
Wow.
United States sleep in their owners' beds. This is an especially impressive number considering the United States also has the world's highest level of dog ownership, with an estimated 78 million domesticated dogs as of 2024.
Wow.
Can we take a poll here and see how many dogs sleep in their bed?
Show of hands.
None
All
of
right,
our dogs
perverts,
sleep in our
let's
beds.
see it.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not regularly, because she hugs the bed.
Uh-huh.
No cats sleep in my bed.
Naveen knows.
Yeah.
Naveen slept with my dog. You can take that however
Right.
take that however you want.
I took it. I took it. I'll save that for later.
Uh-huh.
Coco, the cookie fleck of the podcast, as it turns out.
I'm done now. Eric's got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say your dog better be a pug. Oh God, please.
Naveen come over to Andy's house. He sees the dog. He's like, that dog looks familiar. All right. Okay, question 5. This is a multiple choice. What part of an adult dog's body can create a unique and unchanging in their lifetime print, much like a human being's fingerprint? Is it A? Wait. It's a multiple choice. Multiple choice.
I know the answer. Go ahead.
A, the forepaw. B, back paw. C, the nose. D, the bite mark.
Coco.
Andy, go ahead.
Nose.
Nose. That is correct. Kennel institutes have accepted canine nose prints as proof of identity for dogs as far back as 1938. But just as recently as 2021, Korean researchers at Seoul National University confirmed that nose prints from dogs aged 2 months and up actually constitute a unique and unchanging biomarker.
I have
Need to
no
figure
idea
out how
why
to
I
get
know
a
that.
nose print.
Yeah, maybe
I
that
have no
like Napoleon Naveen. Did you guys know that about dogs at all?
Nope.
I feel like I recently heard that a couple weeks ago.
That's like
So it
a
wasn't something I knew
wait,
before
don't tell
that.
me thing I heard.
Yeah.
All right. So this question is going to be an answer between 1 and 10. All right. This is one of the trickier ones. How many of the 10 most popular dog breeds in the 1930s America remain in the top 10 today?
Ooh.
Say that again.
How many of the 10 most popular dog breeds in 1930s America remain in the top 10 today? These are off of 2023 numbers.
All right, Eric.
Go.
Can the
Shoot.
answer be 0? Or does it have to be between 1 and 10?
I will give you a hint that it is not 0. I
Not
will
0.
kind of skip by
Okay.
the
Okay.
So no.
Is overlap.
Yeah.
So Eric, you buzzed in. What's your guess?
Buzz. I'll say 4.
It is not 4.
Oh.
Peppa.
Shoot.
I say 3.
It is
I
not 3.
was gonna go with 3. Ace.
Shoot.
I would go 2.
2 is correct.
Oh.
Only 2, which are the
Whoa.
Beagle and the Standard Bulldog, are the only remaining breeds on the top 10 list.
Huh.
Lists in the 1930s were dominated by the Terrier and the Spaniel breeds, while the current lists are topped by Golden and Labrador Retrievers, German Shepherds, and French Bulldogs.
Where's the country standard?
Big part.
Hey.
Hey. And you're not getting the half point for that.
Nobody. Either it was a really bad joke, or you guys really took that long to think about it. What are you doing? Exactly. I thought it was great. I just see your little sticker from Eric. He right off the bat. He's like,
I was waiting for John. John's like, huh?
the other three were just like, huh?
Okay. Question 7. This is a yes or no question. Can a greyhound beat a cheetah in a 5K race?
Coco?
Andy, go.
Did you forget your dog's name?
Yeah,
No.
I know.
In a 5K race, yes.
Trying to remember that last time. They were at
Yes.
the zoo.
I'm going with yes because it's
Going with
long
yes.
distance.
Yes is the correct answer there. So turns out cheetahs can run up to 70 miles an hour. They can only do so for about 30 seconds. However, greyhounds can maintain their slower top speed of 35 miles an hour for up to 12 minutes. That's about 7 miles.
Oof.
Wow.
Okay. And this final one, again, Price is Right rules. Closest without going over. And everybody can answer on this one. The human nose has about 5 million sense receptors. How many do dogs have?
Oh.
Wait. Humans have how many?
5 million.
5. Oh,
Everybody can
12
answer.
million.
What?
Naveen says 12 million.
12 million. Naveen?
wait, the answer for humans was 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. Eric,
Okay.
I'll say 37.
37.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And I thought I overshot.
I'm
It's
gonna
my turn.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 50 million.
50 million from Andy.
Yeah, mine was
50.
12 million, by the way. It wasn't just
Yeah.
12. Right.
Just making sure.
I've been giving you the benefit of the doubt with that. You know, we're not.
All right, just making sure you understand.
Get along. Yeah.
All right, Napoleon. So you're the last guess. We got so far. Andy says 50 million. Naveen said 12. Eric said 37.
So I was originally going to say 53 million,
Okay. Final answer.
but I think I'm going to go with 46 million.
46 million. Final answer.
Yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations on that one, because both of those answers would have won you the question. Dogs have 300 million sense receptors in their nose.
Whoa.
Oh, so that means Andy won.
That means I won
Oh, shit.
because I said 50 million.
Yeah. I should have stuck with the 53.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andy. I just had you down. That was my bad.
300 million, Johnny?
300 million.
Wow.
Holy
Says
Many.
here, according to the research, a dog's nose can also sense heat and thermal radiation, kind of like pictures, sort of kind of predator goggles. And because of this, both blind and deaf dogs are still actually able to hunt.
Huh.
So kind of give me.
Listen, I like dogs. I just don't need to know all the stuff about dogs.
I just want to know how they could become a pet.
Funny, like that amount of eye contact while they're.
Tabulating.
Are we tabulating?
Yeah, riff for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I was just about to say, for those listeners out there, he's tallying our scores, being very careful as how he tallies them.
Mhm.
Well, this is important.
I don't know, guys. I have this idea for a book.
Definitely the most important counting of anything that's happened in the past.
It's bathing pugs. I don't know if anybody wants to get on this, but just all kinds of pugs.
Is it a picture book?
Bathing pugs?
The pug in a little Indiana Jones costume, or like a,
How much?
naked pug.
And follow up, take my money.
Pug? For the pug or the book? Any bugs you see in the book you can buy. I'm just gonna, or maybe I'll just give them to you. I don't know. Depends how well the book does.
Okay.
All right, and we have a winner. Andy, and by association, Coco, win the sorbet for this evening. Very good job.
Indian
Best in
Coco?
show.
Coco?
All right, and I think that is a show. Gentlemen, I think this was an entertaining one. Next week we have my pick, 2005 actual documentary by Werner Herzog, Grizzly Man. Napoleon, like a little bit, kind of like kind of context for the show. We sort of shuffled everybody's name when we first started kind of doing like the cycle themes, and I ended up kind of as the person who presented a movie last for the themes that we actually did. What I tried to kind of do previously was kind of, because I was sort of going last, I was kind of like, okay, why don't we pick like maybe like an easier or more kind of accessible one, kind of like a more crowd pleaser one. So we ended up doing like The Thing and Great Muppet Caper and Kung Fu Hustle. And I was generally kind of like, because, some of these cycles we've sort of kind of like been more or less kind of on the same page of. Some of these kind of cycles, like movies, have kind of sort of split people a bit. So I've tried to kind of like tie everything kind of back together at the end, get people sort of like, kind of feeling kind of happy and sort of synced up and positive. This movie that I picked for next week will probably not do that. Grizzly Man, this is a movie since Naveen actually kind of brought up, let's do mockumentaries. I asked some clarification of if we want, can we do actual documentaries that have kind of like a comedic or a satirical kind of edge for it. And kind of at the time, my thinking was either we do Grizzly Man or we do this other documentary that a Danish film crew followed Lil Wayne around on his tour for like about 6 months. And then the Lil Wayne kind of like his people sort of disavowed the entire documentary because I guess it kind of made Lil Wayne look unserious, whatever.
It made him look too tall.
Big Wayne. Leave it, Johnny. Leave it to you to pick a documentary with a quote comedic bent about a guy that gets eaten by a bear.
It's from a certain angle not very funny. From a different angle, it's funny. It's a movie I saw when it came out 20 years ago. I've been fucking thinking about since then. What do you want
from us?
It's compelling. It's going to be something to talk about. This may actually end up being.
Is the question: did he get eaten or did he not get eaten?
Oh no, it's very unambiguous.
Definitely got eaten. Okay.
No, they had to kill the bear. They found his arm inside the bear. They found a still functioning wristwatch, like on the arm that was inside.
That's silly.
That's
holy shit.
There's quite a lot going on. Yeah. So
was it a Timex?
Yeah. Was it Eastern Standard Time?
There was actually 4 of them. He was like one in Baltimore. There was one kind of set to Halifax. It was like some goddamn who works there. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to kind of like thinking about and like talking to you guys.
Yep.
So yeah,
definitely.
Any final kind of closing thoughts?
Watch Best in Show. It's a great movie.
Great movie. Fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you to Napone for joining us again.
Absolutely.
They're not a sponsor. So
thanks for having me.
Napone, not a sponsor.
Not yet.
He really likes our product for some reason.
Yeah.
And he may or may not be a subscriber.
He could be our first Patreon.
Oh, we go.
Hey, wait, you know what we have to say? You know what we have to say that we haven't said yet?
What's
Since
that?
this is our first.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have to say, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell.
Don't forget. And if you didn't enjoy it, there's plenty of reasons why you wouldn't. Just don't do anything. Just leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah, that's fine too. And since no one's actually going to listen to this, none of that actually matters.
Yeah,
if you didn't like it, please like and subscribe and hit that bell.
Anyway,
doesn't matter. Just do it.
Yeah, just fight us in the comments.
I was going to say, like 90% of listeners, they don't subscribe. So let's make that 80%.
Yeah, I think that's all of it. I think that's all of the YouTuber tropes that we have to throw in there. And make sure you use betterhealth.com and play whatever
that. Big shout out.
Oh, what is it?
MySpace.
What was it? VPN one.
NordVPN.
NordVPN, sure.
And whatever the mobile game is that everybody wants to play. I can't remember which one that one was.
Yeah, Brawl Stars.
Brawl Stars, yeah.
Type in Rebels Pod for Brawl Stars to get a free Spike skin.
Yep.
The Joe Rogan sensory deprivation chamber, like I'm not a huge fan, but I've been finding like VR has kind of been making me nauseous. So I'm up for like alternatives.
You could also get the Alex Jones survival preparedness bucket.
What if this is our next episode? We just list people that don't actually come.
Probably get taken down.
Yep.
Shut it.
Thank you to KFC, government trivia. Thank you to people who do moleskin notebooks.
To grizzly bears out there.
Thank you, Blockbuster.
Thank you, Timex, especially. We just saw that documentary. Big takeaway.
Yeah. Yep.
Takes a literal licking, keeps on ticking.
Yep.
All right. Thank you
all right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.